All right. So my name is Tyler Allison. This is my project 2. My partners for this project are Ethan Rivera. So first thing off, I'm going to be starting the VM. Just a quick note before we begin. I think there's something wrong with my VM. I will constantly get an error at the beginning, but I was just continuing with it. So as for my code, um, we have a producer.c file or producer consumer C file right here. So in this file, we initialize buff size and then production, the amount to produce, cons, the amount to consume, and then the user ID. And then all of these values can be taken in as an argument from the module parameter. We have the two threads right here, producer thread and consumer thread. We have the 3 semaphores, the semaphore empty, semaphore full, and then we have the mutex lock. We have the buffer, and to keep track of the numbers that we produce and the numbers that we consume, we have these two variables right here. We also have this Boolean right here, which is there to tell when the threads should be stopped. It's just another thing that goes along with this. And here we go, the problem. But what I was saying, the stop threads is something that goes along with this giant if or while statement right here, just to make sure. So how I programmed it is in the buffer size takes in integers, and the producer randomly assigns integers to the buffer, and then the consumer consumes those numbers. So it just randomly generates a number. And then my producer function, while kthread should stop, stop threads and nums produced is less than the amount that needs to be produced. We generate a number, and then right here we have the mutex lock, if down interruptible. We continue, we add it to the buffer, we increase the size of the buffer, we print to the kernel that the produced number and the ID of that number. And then if we continue, we increase the nums produced, and then we mutex unlock, and then we up on the full semaphore, and then we sleep. I'm not really sure if I need this, but I was trying everything to get this to work. And then we have the consumer function, same thing, some deal as the producer function. Just kind of flipped with instead of the down interval being empty on like this one, it's going to be full. And then we've just set the mutex lock and then the mutex unlock again. And then this one just consumes the number that was in the buffer. And then this right here is going to be a part of the module init function. So this is the first thing that runs when we run that insmod in the terminal. So this is a useless character right here. So we have the buffer. The buffer size is going to be the size of the buffer is going to be whatever the buff size was initialized as, and if it fails, it has that there. So the semaphore for empty is going to be the buff size, and then the semaphore for full is going to be 0 because when you first start it, all of them are going to be empty, and then with the mutex is going to be right here. And then, so we create the producer thread using the kthread run. So it's going to run the producer function, and then because there's no parameters for it, it's going to be null, and then we have producer thread right here. Then, so if there's an error making it right here, same thing with the consumer here, creates it right here, and then if there's an error with it right here. So then we say print case starting, and then it wakes up both of the processes right here, and then it goes to sleep again, and then it says ending. And then, so that's when would happen after the insmod. So I can show it off, but I want to show off the exit function first. I was trying a lot of things with the exit function. I just couldn't get it to work. So that's why I have the stop threads to begin with. I used to not have it. So I have a bunch of print statements. I'll probably remove this before I submit it, but just so it looks better. But so basically I was trying to debug it and see like at what point it actually does crash. So I figured out that basically there's something wrong with my kthread stop. So every time it gets here, it crashes, and then it'd probably skip it, and then it'd try to go to the next one, and it'd still crash, and the VM would crash, or I'd stop it, or execute it, or kill it. I couldn't really figure out what was going on here. I think it had to do something with the semaphores not being flipped to up by this, but I have them here, so I wasn't really sure what was going on. Maybe it was something with the mutex one, but I couldn't figure it out. So, and I couldn't figure out how to free the semaphores either. I tried so many different things. And then module exit successfully. We will never see that. Okay, yeah, so let's just show off. So we'll make this clean again. I'm not really sure what that is. Okay, and then let's just run the test. So if we run the test right here, this is test case 3. This is test case 3 right here. So if I run test case.3, let me type in my password. Okay. It's going to run in that one. It's going to do the process thing, so I can show it off right here. So it's going to do all those processes right here. It's going to create all those processes, and then it's going to test script will now insert the kernel module. The test script, it waits 10 seconds. It waits 10 seconds, and then right here we can see, so for the test case, it managed to do one of the processes. So it produced a number. So it produced ID 78 starting, and then consumed number. So it consumed the second number, and then what I'm assuming and it crashed. Okay. That's to be expected. But if I was able to see it, I'm sure it would have said something along the lines of it's printing out the here statements. So it's here 1, here 2. And then when it gets to that, it never gets to here 3 and instead goes to an error. And then it skips over and then it goes to here 4, here 5. And then we never see here 6 because it also crashes to the kthread stop function also stops to, or it fails on stopping the consumer or producers that I can't remember which one I did first. So pretty much just have to shut off the VM. Yeah, but so any of the test cases, it won't run because the code I have is incapable of handling more than one process without destroying your VM. But it does have all of the necessary things. So it has like the init function, the exit function. It's able to create the threads. It has all the semaphores that it needs. And it has the buffer. But the only thing that's wrong is that the kthread stop function is just not able to run. I don't know if it's I'm not really able to tell if it's like still on a my end kind of thing. I don't know if like because my VM is like messed up that it's unable to make it run, but I don't know. I just have to turn in what I have to turn in. So for this example, I'm just gonna do something that's not part of the make file. So I'm gonna make it, and then if I run this one right here, so sudo, this is something that runs in the test file. So if I run this one, okay, yep, so it ran. And then I'll pull up, I'll just have 2 terminals open here. Off my screen, there we go, okay. So with these 2 terminals, I can see, oops, okay, I get it, yep. So right here, it did everything that needed to do, produce number. The code was, so basically that's this instruction was to have a buffer size of 10, produce 5, and consume 5. So right here, it's not pretty, but it produced 5, and then it consumed all of them right here. And then if we have it, so that's in the DM message. So then if I do this one, so this should run the exit one. So it's going to stay here for a little bit, I think. Never mind, I just crashed instead. Yeah, so something's wrong with my kthread function. That's like basically the gist of it. I'm just submitting what I have. So yeah, thank you.